Hello everyone, we all remember March 2023 because that's when Adobe introduced the world to its new revolutionary product, Adobe Firefly, which simplified the work of many designers, artists, YouTubers, and many others. And now, 7 months after its beta debut, Adobe Firefly Generative Artificial Intelligence will have 3 new models and more than 100 new features and capabilities, company executives announced Tuesday at the Adobe Max 2023 event. Adobe is not new to using machine learning in its products. The company released its first commercial artificial intelligence, Sensei, in 2016. In a nutshell, Adobe Sensei is a technology that combines artificial intelligence and machine learning to automate tedious tasks, allowing professionals in various fields to focus on creativity rather than time-consuming tasks. Adobe Sensei can automatically detect faces and facial features in an image, allowing you to accurately and easily manipulate those features to restore fine details that are often lost in digital image processing and editing. It also lets you remove unwanted objects from video footage, and that's just a small part of what this AI can do. But today we're going to talk about something else, just to give you an idea of how long Adobe has been building AI into its products. The first Firefly, based on the Sensei system, offered image and video editors a range of AI tools and features, from text-to-color enhancement, saturation and hue adjustments, font and design element generation, and even on-the-fly creation and integration of background music into video scenes. But on October 11th, the improved Firefly Image 2 tool was unveiled. If you watched the presentation, you know that the new version has a number of advantages over its predecessor. According to Adobe, the new Firefly Image 2 produces images of significantly higher quality, especially in terms of fine details such as foliage, skin texture, hair, hands, and facial features in photorealistic images of people. Image 2 also features new AI-based editing capabilities that help customize the final result. Settings can be applied to both manual and automatic adjustments to the depth of field, motion blur, and field of view of the resulting image, similar to manual camera control. A prompt guidance feature has also been added to help users compose more accurate prompts and add hints to improve performance. We agree, we really need this feature because sometimes it takes a huge number of tries and a lot of time to get the generation we need. In addition, Adobe has introduced a new generative match feature that allows you to copy styles from other images. Users can choose one of the images on the platform or upload their own. It's not only revolutionary for the company, it's also a really necessary feature for us. Thanks to this, we won't have to use third-party services to get the image in the style we want, but just a few clicks and what we need will be on our computer. I am sure this will speed up the workflow for all those involved in design, and not only. While the company gathers feedback from users, Generative Match is in beta and cannot be used commercially during this time. You can try Firefly Image 2 today on the Firefly Web Beta and soon in Creative Cloud apps. At the same time, the new version of the neural network will not yet be available in all versions of Photoshop. In addition, we were introduced to a new update for Adobe Illustrator at the presentation. Firefly Vector is the world's first generative AI model for vector graphics. Alexander Kostin, Adobe's vice president of generative AI and Sensei, said the company used tens of millions of vector images in Adobe stock to train Firefly for this new feature. Kostin described the process as a journey, and since there wasn't a lot of work involved in using generative AI to create vector drawings compared to the work involved in creating other images, it certainly took a little more work on the part of the team. He noted that the team focused on creating a model that could generate these images with the fewest possible points. The Firefly Vector model, now available in Firefly Beta, allows you to create editable vector images with text prompts. Unlike traditional JPEG and PNG files, vector graphics, also known as SVG files, are ideal for designers because they can be scaled to any size without sacrificing overall image quality. Like the original Firefly text-to-image conversion model, Adobe says the Firefly Vector model is suitable for commercial use when it comes out of beta because it has been trained on licensed content such as Adobe stock and public domain content. The Firefly Vector model is available to try today in the Adobe Illustrator beta, along with additional features such as mockup and retype. Mockup allows Illustrator users to take any 3D scene and then take any vector graphic and apply it to that 3D scene. This could be a design for a soda can or a mockup of a new logo for a t-shirt. Mockup is really interesting because it allows you to show your clients art in context so they understand what they're buying when they hire you as a freelancer, Kostin explains. Also new is retype, which converts static text in images into editable text and finds the appropriate fonts. But Adobe didn't stop there. It also introduced Firefly Design, which lets you create customizable templates for print, social posts, creative for advertising, video, and so on. Based on a new beta version of the text-to-template feature in Adobe Express, Firefly Design uses text prompts to create fully editable templates for all popular formats. It is similar to Canva's Magic Design feature, where users can type something like clothing store flyer to create a variety of unique templates. For now, these new templates are only available in beta, but will soon be available to the general public. According to Adobe, the original Firefly pattern has been used to create more than 3 billion images. At the Adobe Max 2023 conference, the company officially unveiled Project Stardust AI as a preview of what a next-generation artificial intelligence-based photo editing engine could look like. Based on Firefly Model 2, which is also being released today, Stardust allows users to easily remove objects and people from a scene, change backgrounds, and more. Essentially, the idea is to let anyone get creative with image editing using Adobe's artificial intelligence tools. To be clear, at this point, this is just what Adobe would consider a gimmick, a public preview of some of the technology they're cooking up behind the scenes that may or may not ever make it into a final product. In this case, however, since Stardust essentially takes a lot of existing Firefly-based artificial intelligence tools and puts them into a new shell, we're likely to see more of this kind of technology in the near future. It combines Adobe's object recognition models with existing artificial intelligence features such as generative fill. And of course, we have to mention Adobe Express. Adobe Express includes many templates to get you started, but you can also take your projects there for further and better work. For example, you can take your project from Adobe Illustrator and continue your work in Adobe Express. It has become possible to animate absolutely any image to create a really interesting project, but one of the most important features is the ability to transfer files from Creative Cloud and collaborate. For example, if you work in a team, you can send your project to your colleague, but at the same time you can block images that no one but you can interact with. Imagine a situation where you've created a great project but you can't figure out the text, but you have a friend who's very good at it. You send him the project, leaving only text editing, and after a while, when you return to your project, you see that the text has changed and now your work is complete. It seems that Adobe is really serious about implementing artificial intelligence in their products. I am sure that in the future we will remember Adobe Firefly Image 2 as a relic of the past. I have a hunch that in just 6 months we will see an updated version of Firefly that will be able to do things that even we find unimaginable. We all know that Adobe is a giant in the digital industry and has a huge impact and influence on moving that industry forward. The fact that they have been so persistent in targeting a niche like artificial intelligence is incredibly gratifying, but it also has its drawbacks. If Adobe becomes a market monopoly in the same field of artificial photo manipulation, including image generation, what will happen to smaller but no less important companies in the same industry, such as Midjourney and Leonardo AI? After all, every content creator needs a certain style of generation that can only be provided by a certain service. Maybe these companies will be acquired by a giant like Adobe, but for now, fortunately for us, Adobe is emphasizing slightly different features in the realm of photo generation. We don't know for sure what the future holds, but we'll be watching with great interest. That's all for now. Have a productive day and good mood.